Welcome back to Slam Shenanigans. This is phase two of Vision to Reality in the Backyard. This offload area should look familiar. This time I brought the TB250 Takeuchi excavator to start on phase two of this backyard project for a very nice lady and husband. So here what you're looking at is where the homeowner has placed sticks for the fire ring that she wants the landscaping company that I'm working with to do this. So I'm basically supporting and subbing out to the landscape company. And then now we're kind of looking at the area that I roughed in for the ditch to try and route the water away from the back of her house. So pay close attention to that one tree there on the corner of the house. That's, as I go through this video, I'll show you what I'm having to deal with. Here's the rough grade from the skid steer for the backyard area, for the back of the house area. Everything was sloped pretty good, but that tree right there is where the technicalities come into this job. So we had different phases or priorities that I was given for this. This is the fire pit and walkway out to the fire pit. So first thing I had to do was basically paint those lines so that I had something to remember where they wanted it and get rid of the homeowner's sticks that they laid out and some rocks. And then there's a little layback chair there that I got to move out of the way so that I can do my work. First priority is going to be the ditch on that I was talking about with the slope, but I had to get this out of the way to take care of it. And then when I did this, I made sure that I marked basically center line, cross lines, crosshairs, if you will, to where the center of that pit was, just in case I knew I was going to destroy most of this paint for where the walkway and stuff went. So I always had a center point to go back to, and then the rest was pretty easy to figure out. So I had everything in my bucket. One of the first things I had to do was actually, before I started digging or sculpting anything, was pull a bunch of deadfall and cut down stuff off the bank here. And that was going to be a big pain in the butt by myself. But you'll see this gentleman here, owner of STS Incorporated, Sindelar Tree Service, who I also work with. He is also a good friend, and he came out and just helped me run chokers for this. So we did something in about a half hour that would have taken me probably a couple hours jumping in and out of the excavator there. But yeah, we knocked that out pretty quick. Thanks to Tim, and helped me out. Just was in the area, drove by and stopped by and said, hey, do you need help with that? He knew what I was doing because basically the three companies all work together. Haslam and Sons, my company, Sindelar Tree Service, and then also SB Landscaping, who I'm subbing to on this job. So Tim helped me get everything down, and then I basically transported all this back down out of the way on the edge of the property there. So way down there where basically the water's all going to migrate to. So I had to clean all this up, get it out of there. And you see I'm kind of going over my painted lines. That's why I marked those crosshairs so that I can always go back to the center. So now we got to where I can actually start sculpting this a little bit more. So I did a little bit more bank cleanup since I drug all the things down, and then some final cleanup and grading on from the house over. So the grading away from the house was no big deal, but what I'm alluding to on the technicalities with this ditch are that the tree right there, right behind my excavator, that I have to go around and get this water to go around is right on the corner of the house. And due to the grade, I didn't want to take as much, I had to take as little as possible going around that tree. So I had to make the slope work from this back corner on your left all the way down the hill. And I had to do that without taking too big of a cut and a deeper trench right there by that tree because of the roots. So anybody who knows anything about trees, if you take too many of the roots out, you could actually kill the tree, and we don't want to create a future problem. So it was real delicate how much I could take out right there. So instead of just going at it from the beginning and making sure I had good slope all the way down, I had to try and minimize that. So you'll see me go back and forth multiple times, thinking I had it, and just checking it with the laser level like I'm doing right here, and going, wow, that's deceiving. I actually need to go a little bit more. But like I said, I didn't want to take too much because of the tree roots. So I was just being real, making minor adjustments. And so because of that, I had to do this like 3 or 4 times. Just trying to get that slope right to where the water would flow from the back corner all the way down efficiently without going too deep at the roots. You know, and every time you do that, you got to clean up what you just leveled here where the excavator is and get all that dirt out of there. Good byproduct of this both the ditch and the fire pit and some other things that you'll see at the end here, is that the homeowner ended up with probably 8 to 12 feet more of yard to the right of where the excavator is now, because the dirt had to go somewhere. So that was kind of a bonus for her. So she should have some extra flat there to work with. And where we live, flat is gold, basically. So what you'll see me doing here is, I think at this point I've got my slope pretty darn good, and I'm cleaning up the edges down there at the bottom, which creates more dirt. And then I just got to move around, make sure that I'm keeping the yard level and clean. So now you can see I'm kind of back dragging from the edge of the house out. So I'm definitely got the slope on the back of the house good. Just making some final adjustments before I start doing the other things. So that was priority 1. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's multiple priorities in this phase 2, which will get the drainage finalized and then also get some prep work done for the landscaper. So here's first landscaping per se priority for work they're going to have to do. Is I'm cutting in a shelf around this particular tree between the tree and the house, and the landscaping company is going to put in a little small retaining wall right here. So you can see I'm checking level. He just basically wanted to minimize the excavation here just to make sure that they had a level bench to construct his retaining wall on there. This one's probably so small, I don't think he's gonna put any back drain on that. Obviously rock, but no French drain needed. And then the slope, you'll see tying into another priority here is comes off the roof and it goes right by the edge of the house here, and then down and out around the house. So here what I'm doing is, it's really hard to see on video probably, but there's a lip at the edge of the deck, if you will, vertically down, that any water that got into the deck or any washdown water, it doesn't really have a great way to get out. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that slope is continuous to the valley that is basically starting at the lower third of that stairs down to the left of these pallets with wood on them, and then it takes a turn with the little bank around the house. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that I've got a good way for the water to go from the edge of the house underneath the deck all the way into this little swale and then come on out. And I got to do that without messing up my ledge there that I just created for his retaining wall. So there you can see I'm picking rocks. Got a few that were too small, so I just went out and grabbed them. Not as bad as first phase. My shoulders weren't quite as sore this day. There was a lot of in and out on that first phase. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch that video. It's probably a good point to where I say, hey, I'm really trying hard to get to that 1,000 subscribers. So if you could, and you like this content, I would greatly appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Also like the like button hits. And if you want to make some comments, I'm all up for interacting with you guys. Here's a wildlife supervisor we had dropped in on me. Want to make sure my work was doing okay. All right, so we've got the drainage settled. We've got the shelf for the little retaining wall around the tree there done, and we've got the drainage from under the deck to that swell done. So one of the last priorities here, picking more rocks there, is to take the grade down using the existing grade, not necessarily leveling anything, for the walkway and the fire pit that's going to be installed by the landscaping contractor also. So he wanted 4 to 6 inches down, and then he was going to put some base rock down, level that, compact it, and then build up flagstone, I believe, and a rock fireplace from there. So, interesting note, this was actually the first time that I had to do radiuses with any sort of accuracy with my excavator. So it was, the walkway wasn't too bad. The walkway needed to be about 4 feet, and that's what my bucket is. So just a little bit of over dig on the sides. And you basically, as you're pulling in, you got to swing and move your bucket to the left or right to make that radius. So the circle for the fire pit was actually the real challenge. So like I said, this wasn't too bad, but the circle was where I had to get that radius both on the left and the right of my viewing, if you will, from where the operator station is. So, and again, making a lot of extra dirt, so I got to waste it off the side there, which is making her yard bigger, which is kind of cool. More real estate for her for activities. So just a lot of grade a little bit, get that walkway cleared out, and come on back and do that. So I think I moved the camera here. Sometimes I take the walking out for the camera changes. I'm not a professional yet, but get me above 1,000 and I'll get some better equipment, and you'll see some even better quality videos here. So if you watch real close, I've slowed the time lapse down a little bit to about third speed so you can see what I'm doing versus just something going maniac fast. And you'll watch as I'm making my pulls towards the cab with the bucket, that it's actually doing it on an arc. And what I'm doing, like I said, I'm trying to make that fire pit circle. And it actually turned out pretty good. And I understand that, you guys might say, wow, it looks rough or whatever. Just keep in mind, you're looking through shadows and everything else. In person, I didn't put the soil conditioner out here and perfectly level it, but in person it turned out pretty darn good. And I was happy. The landscape company was happy, and I believe since I've done this and talked back that the report from the owner that she was extremely happy with all my work too. So, and we had, like I said, we did first phase in the other video. Please go back and watch that. And then this is phase 2, in which the next amount of work will be the landscape company coming in and constructing the fire pit walkway and that retaining wall for the tree. And since I've taken a little bit of time to edit this, now I've actually squirreling out here, I switched around to try and cut the other radius on the other side, so I actually had to back into the walkway and do that. Now I'm just moving more dirt. But since this work here was completed and I've edited the video, the homeowner's authorized not only what I just said with the retaining wall and the fire pit, but she would also like to have the ditch that I just made lined with river rock. So I'm going to go back late this week and help the landscape company move materials in for them. Basically, everything's kind of done, and now they get to do their work. But I'm going to use my equipment. I'll probably pull the skid steer back and move all that river rock in for them, and move all the base rock in for this. And if there's any pallets of material that I can move for them, I'll do that also. So, but again, created a lot of dirt here. So now I think at this point, I'm pretty much done with the fire pit. Landscape company hasn't come out to view it yet. Oh, there he is right there. So I was leveling that. Like I said, SB was quite happy with this. These are just pictures of the finished product. There's the owner of SB Landscaping looking at it. This is what will line with the river rock. And the slope is all good. If need to do anything more, we've already talked it over. That tree at the corner of the house, not that one, but this one right there that I believe the owner is standing next to, or the landscape owner is standing next to, that'll probably have to come out because I'm gonna have to go deeper if they want it any more aggressive for the grading. So here I'm finishing up this edge of the slope here. Like I said, a lot of that was just wasted, so I'm making sure that it's perfectly smooth, compacting the area as best I can. And I made a little ramp down to where I can come back with a skid steer, or they can come in with a little lawnmower or whatever and come on up to this area. Four-wheel drive, a little pickup would probably make it up too. So I'm just kind of tracking it in back and forth, getting everything nice, because that's our access into the backyard. Phase 3 and 4 may be larger retaining walls on the other side of the house that you haven't seen yet. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button and the bell button and you'll see more. But so here I'm starting to pick some stuff up, and after I finish that, I will grab all my equipment, throw it in the bucket, because the driveway is probably 300 yards long to where I'm staged. Here's all the stuff loaded up in the bucket. That way I don't have to carry it or walk up and down the hill. She's all loaded up now, back on the trailer, about to strap her down, and I'm already on my way to the next job. So the next job was quite a ways up the hill. It was a fun one. Probably won't see a video on that one though. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, if you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it.